Welcome to the beautiful world of aquascaping. Today I'm going to do a boosting session on the biggest aquarium of Green Aqua in 650 liters. It's going to be a very difficult job. Stay with me. But before I start working, let's see what one of the creators, Tomi, had to say about my job today. Okay, so Tomi, I need some creative input on boosting this aquarium. I want to try to have your take on what we should do here.
Well, what I can tell you is what I like and what I don't like about the current thing, and then I would trust your creativity with the rest.
Oh, thank you.
I love the dominance of Lotus. I wouldn't take away much.
Definitely, but also you are talking about the back Lotus, or you also like these two patches
here? I
here?
like both.
Okay.
I also love the huge patches of Microzorum, both in the left front, the right front, and the back in the middle.
Right.
What I don't like with the Microzorum is that patch behind. It's barely visible, but it's somehow a bit out of place.
Got it.
And also the empty spaces are just too big. So if I look at the tank for balance, this is very empty for me.
Right.
And the negative space in the middle is just too big. Somehow it doesn't have a shape at the moment.
Okay, how about the background with the Cyperus on both sides?
I like that,
and the visible background, white background. So you wanted to keep the see-through feeling?
No.
Or you could keep it with you could fill it with some stem plants, for example?
You could fill it up to like a complete curtain. I like the Cyperus, I wouldn't get rid of it, but I can imagine stem plants thrown in there.
How about the foreground? Would you like to add more detail onto it?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any color preferences? You want the Lotus to be the only colored plant in this layout, or you want other reddish, orangish plants in here?
I wouldn't use aggressive colors, so like I can't imagine putting in Rotala blood red or whatever, this very vivid red, but I can think of reds like we have the Albino brown, for example, in here. So subtle red tones around the tank, I think that's fine. Okay,
and you also want to keep the Nature Aquarium feeling of it, or you can imagine transforming this a little bit to a more competition style?
I would love to keep it on a style, but work your magic.
Okay, let's go. So we need to discuss with Tomi what should I do with this layout, and you know, guys, that there are like days when you don't feel motivated that much. This is one of those days for me, and I'm thinking of how to address this huge aquarium, which requires a lot of hardscape, a lot of plants, and I want to see what's happening, because when I discussed with my dear wife in the morning that I'm going to shoot this video today, and I absolutely need to do it because all the cameras are here and you guys are expecting something wonderful from me. She told me that don't worry about it, because the moment you will start working on it, everything is going to fall into its own place, and you're going to get immersed in the flow as you usually do, and hopefully that's what's going to happen. And in the way to Green Aqua, I was thinking about like how should I approach this, and I thought that I would do like three things. First, hardscape boost. I've got some really cool ironwood pieces that I want to actually place. I'm not sure about this one, but it should be in the back like that. This is the one that goes to the left side. I want to tilt it towards the other one to connect to these two. This is why I'm not sure whether I want to make an arch, which would be actually nice. I found some plants that would actually fill the gaps here and there, maybe grow up more to the surface, add a little bit of detail to the background. That is another thing. Another thing about the hardscape that I want to change is the foreground, as Tomi also said. I absolutely want to use some longer Eleocharis. So I could use that in the middle on two sides to have some finesse to the scape, because as you see now, Lotus, big leaves, Microzorum, big leaves, epiphytes, a lot of character. So we need to kind of add a little bit of finesse. Check this out. It has all kind of detail alternating between fine detail and strong character. So that's what you should aim for if you want interesting layouts that people can stand in front. The third thing that I want to improve fish. Now that Oma-san had built this beautiful layout in the gallery, what I learned is that I shouldn't be afraid to use multiple type of fish in these kinds of nature aquariums. Okay, that's the plan. And you guys are gonna be the judges. Without further ado, I'm getting started. I've got all the crushed stones, perfect size. These will add a lot of nice detail. Now they're grayish, but they're gonna get the same color after a couple of weeks. And actually we discussed the tweaking details with Tomi just about a week ago. And we had one maintenance session since then. Yeah, Tommy's wondering where I'm gonna put this huge piece of wood. That's gonna go in the middle. I'm gonna put an arch in the middle. And why I'm using glue in the Nature Aquarium, that's another thing that he's worried about. So far I didn't see any disapproval on his face, which is already giving me a little, just a tiny bit of boost of confidence. I'm using the fast fusion compound. Helped a lot, actually. It moved the point of interest to the other side, and they like the idea of the arch. Okay, second one is almost ready. I gotta find out what's happening here. Let's check it out like this first. Arch style, that looks not okay. Swap it. This actually I like better. And I'm missing like a third one over here. And I deliberately didn't drain the tank now because I want to see how this whole layout looks filled up with water. And later I'm going to drain it a little bit so I can work with the plants and at the bottom of it, because it's very difficult to reach in as it is now. Now we have more things to look at. I really like the middle of it better. Gluing is done. Let's just fill up the background with sand. Maybe this will get the water very cloudy. Should I rinse it? Let's test this. The bottom of it is still completely dry. See how slowly the water goes into it? How it fills up? I have no idea actually what kind of sand this is, because I just found it in the back. How bad is it? The new fish are here. I've got Titea, that I know. I've got the, that I don't know. And these I forgot. But they're all here. So what should I do? I've got a ton of plants there. I've got a ton of rocks here. Just do it. The fun part is the Cyperus helferi. These guys have not used anything in these positions in the front. I'm going to plant that in the middle of the aquarium, in the foreground. Now we broke the hegemony of the whole Microzorum bush. So now we have some play in it. And then we've got the third one, which should come on the other side. There's just barely any soil here. This is a huge plant, the Pogostemon quadricofolius. This will go here, which means it will cover the side beautifully. The Pogostemon stellatus will go on the other side and will actually grow out of here. I've got more stem plants, and this is the Myriophyllum brasiliensis. And I selected those plants from the plant holding tanks that were higher actually, because if you have like smaller plants, the already planted and thriving plants from the aquarium will overpower these guys. Next one is another Cyperus, which will be divided in two also. I am moving to the hair grass, which is not very long, so I'm not happy about it. Plant these into the center, in the back, to just make a curtain in front of everything there. Again, this will be planted in sand. It's supposed to work fine. This is supposed to grow at least this much. And I'm going to put root tabs right next to it in the sand so that it helps the growth a little bit. Obviously, this is not going to look good because the acicularis is just too short within a week when we shoot the B-rolls at the end of the video. But if you check out our social media pages, we will post you regularly with updates on all aquariums, including this one. This microzorum will not live there. I will remove it because Tomi didn't like it. I could actually put it here. Now the water is mixing. For you guys who are new to the hobby, we have different methods of letting fish climatize to the aquarium conditions when you bring them home or when you put them in an aquarium like this. I use the first technique, which is take the bag with the fish, put it in the aquarium water, wait 20-30 minutes until the temperature equalizes, and then pinch it with something sharp. I pinch the top of the bag and then I turn the bag upside down so that the water from the bag and the aquarium water can mix. And that is going to happen gradually, very slowly, so that the fish will actually get used to the new water. And at the end of this process, about an hour or so, the two waters are mixed, the temperature is the same, so then you can just cut the bag, release the fish, and you're ready. And if you're interested how to actually introduce the fish in your aquarium and you want the detailed process, if you don't remember these times, you can ask the AI Scaper if you live in Europe, because that is only available for European viewers. Next step is adding details to the foreground, because I have no idea what to do with the epiphyte plants that I selected. So it's a good opportunity to keep my mind busy with something else. Again, the color of these rocks, you would say that it's not ideal right now. Don't worry about the colors. They will equalize. Okay, so now I have a lot of interesting detail in the foreground with rocks, and I need to start adding a lot of plants in the foreground as well. So I will start to tie the Bucephalandra on some of the bigger rocks. Let's glue them easier. I'm just using the bucket column in the foreground now. You could actually plant these, but I don't want to do that because the height of the sand is not enough. Maybe I could plant some small Bucephalandra. I better put them on. Let's just put them on rocks again. I've got 2 pots of Anubias nana, which is the bigger Anubias, and I want to use them at the bottom of the wood pieces that I put in because they don't look very natural. I'm using the Tropica nutrient capsules, and I'm putting them at the bottom. I'm not very good at this, am I? I know I should use a tweezer. This is not the same like with the small things that you get with the Amazonia, because the ones that you get with the Amazonia are actually not as nutrient rich as these guys. And while this aquarium is filling up, I will let these guys come in. 3, 2, 1, go. They don't look very stressed. Then the third bunch, all that remains to be done is to remineralize, and I will apply some 88 clean water, which is like a flocculating agent, which will clear up this mess that happened because of the sand pouring. And in a couple of hours it's going to be really clean, and you guys are going to see how this thing looks in about a week. So let me know what you think of the boost session. We are here a couple of days later with one of the creators, Tomi, and I'm not only trying to make it to his taste, but I'm also like getting a bigger beard to resemble him.
It is a long road ahead.
So let me know what you think about this boosting session. What did I do right? What did I miss? What would you change? I'm not changing it. I'm just letting them know.
My favorite part is it has nothing to do with you. I love that the load is going straight up. We never had that.
Oh, I love that too.
You went all Homasan on this aquarium.
I did, indeed.
I can see high influence of this work in the changes
Absolutely.
made there. I love the long cyperus leaves in the front, which wouldn't make sense for me just thinking about it, but it looks cool.
Okay.
Same with the stem plants. What are those plants on the two sides?
Two types of Pogostemon. The Quadricostatus and the Erectus, I think.
I love how you close the gap in the middle. I think that was the biggest issue with this layout, that the middle part was too empty and too open.
Do you notice that it's not redmore wood, but it's ironwood, so it's actually a second kind of wood? Now that I'm saying, right?
Now that you're saying, no, I noticed that it's ironwood. I just thought that the whole layout was ironwood, but it wasn't.
There you go. No.
Wouldn't do this for competition tanks. So now that you look at it in detail, you can see the difference in texture. But this is a good example of how two very differently colored wood look very similar once underwater. Background, I was expecting you to make it much more dense.
Right.
I don't mind that it's not. So
You don't miss
me.
anything from that middle part in the back?
I like how the right side is more dense. I could imagine the same on the whole left side. I like the extra fish as well. I have no idea what this is. The pinkish greenish fish.
Don't take me into that street,
Yeah,
because
you
I don't know it
either.
either.
Fish-wise, again, lots of inspiration from Homasan's work.
Now I wanna use a lot of fish in our aquariums, because before, let's go minimalistic, which is cool with certain layouts, but this kind of nature aquarium layout, absolutely, it adds a lot. Okay, how about the foreground?
It needs time. That's the thing that's bothering me, how different it is color-wise. The crushed pieces of stone, but it's going to take a couple months to get to the same level of aging. This is when you actually see how much algae there is on the original rocks. I think it's a good point for the viewers as well to see how the algae can
This
be
is how
good
it grows,
sometimes.
and it grows together.
It gives certain patina to the aquarium.
I wouldn't say that it's green algae. If I would brush the rock,
Yeah, but it
wouldn't.
is.
Is it now?
It is,
You
yeah.
think so?
That's a very thin layer of green algae on the stones. I notice this every time. I usually work with Frodo stones in my contest layouts as well. This is happening all the time.
How do you rate it from 1 stars to 5 stars, and not the aquarium itself?
The tank or your work?
The boosting session, how would you rate it?
4.
4. Oh, that's good. 4
4
from
out of
Tomi
5.
is like 5 from everybody else. Okay, so thank you, Tommy, for the guidance, and thank you for appreciating this and not humiliating me in front of everybody.
Never do that.
But I also thank you guys for staying here with us, and don't forget, if you become a channel member, you can not only support the video production of the channel, but you can also watch these videos on Mondays.
And if you want to see the original video about this build, you can check it out over here. Thanks again for joining us. Let us know what you think about what Balázs did to my tank.
Absolutely.
It's good. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.